those shots.
Excellent shot. Hit the corner.
Again, there was no chip there or anything. He just flat P-laid that ball, and with all the topspin that he had, the ball dropped a few inches inside the baseline. Actually, the wind was blowing from his back, which would, in most cases, have caused the ball to go long. Because he had such topspin on it, it just fell right there in the court. And we have a second serve.
30-15.
Incredible shot. Those are 3 backhands in a row. The service return that he hit for a winner, then this service, he hit the backhand topspin right back to Dewan. Dewan hits it back, and then he passes him with the backhand. Now that, for the viewers that don't play tennis, that is an incredible shot.
And for people like me who play just a little bit of tennis, that's a great shot. Let hit the net that time. But we talked about the brace on Pat Surratt's arm. Every time he puts that spin, it takes a little bit more off that tendon in his arm.
Well, if he has a torn tendon in his arm and he's hitting points like that, he either has a high pain threshold or he's really gotten used to playing with it.
Look at the brace on his arm. Doesn't seem to be bothering him much.
Tom, that's about 4 or 5 incredible backhands he's hit. He's, remember we were talking about his game being a little off, out of sync. Remember he hit a couple of backhands where it almost hit the fence. Well, I think he's in sync now.
Watch it come all the way over, right down the line.
And again, for those viewers who don't play tennis, that's an incredible shot.
He's been hitting those cross courts. I guess Dewan probably expected him to cross court it again. He put it right down the line.
That's correct. Low wide. Again, it was topspin. Played the angle, but missed it by about 4 or 5 inches.
And we're at deuce now.
That was a big point, though. That was a terribly big point, because if he had made that shot, he'd have broken Dewan first serve, third set, and he'd have been sailing. But now we're at deuce, and we'll see what Dewan does. Ace.
That's a way to put it on your side. Advantage, Peter Dewan. There is the top seed, serving. And the first game goes to Peter Dewan here in the third set. Players are taking the break. The ball boys and ball girls are picking things up. And we'll take a break.
Nobody likes to buy tires. If you need them, why not buy them where they're the cheapest? We discount Goodyear, Firestone, Michelin, BF Goodrich, all the major brands. We sell cheaper than Sears, Western Auto, even Sam's Wholesale Club. In fact, we'll beat anybody's advertised price by at least 5%. Remember, nobody beats Allied Tires. Nobody.
Locations in Lafayette, now in Lake Charles, across from Prien Lake Mall.
$90 down?
No payment for 90 days from Levis Toyota in Lake Charles.
$90 down.
No payment
For 90 days on Camrys, Corollas, Delicas, rugged 4x4s, 4x2s, and Tercel. $90 down and no payment for 90 days, then just
$169 per month on balance from Levis Toyota. Highway 14 in Lake Charles. Levis Toyota.
And welcome back to the men's finals of the Contraband Days Tennis Tournament. The number 1 and number 2 seeds playing, Peter Dewan and Pat Surratt. Right now, Peter Dewan, who is in the near court, is leading 1-0 in the third and deciding set.
You'll see, Tom, that Peter really hadn't changed anything from the first set. It's just that Pat has. That service return, again, was a little chip. Instead of like the first serve, when it went in, this time it went out by about 2 or 3 inches. So it's a little, just 2 or 3 inches off has been the difference. And that's a double fault.
Rarity for Pat Surratt. Now, Peter Doohan did it earlier, like 2 or 3 times. But
in the same service game. It's not okay anytime, but it's certainly not okay when you do it 3 times in one service game, and he comes back with an ace.
When you double fault, that's the way to come back, with an ace.
Both from the baseline. Let's see who's going to come up. I bet Doohan comes up first. Okay.
Yes, sir, folks. Put your money on Mike McNulty if he ever goes to Vegas. He called that one right.
Well, Surratt was keeping the ball deep, and Doohan feels a little more comfortable at the net. And the first short ball that Doohan got, he attacked, came up, and took that volley and hit a clear winner for to take that point.
15-30 now.
With an ace.
He wins both his points with aces. And we're all even at, correct me, that's 40-30 now. And that's long, and that's the game. We're all even now at 1 game apiece. Now while we have a chance, we want to talk about all the help that we're getting out here today with the ball boys and ball girls.
Well, we're fortunate, Tom, in Lake Charles, we have a good juniors program. The kids that you see around the court that are sitting in the stands right there, and the kids on the court, you see one of the girls right there cleaning up the court. They're all tennis players here at the club, and it's really up and coming. They play all the tournaments and volunteered their services for the tournament here. And we're pleased with the young program.
Want to thank them and all the help they're giving us today. Doing a great job out here today. Getting a little windy out here.
Great lob. Surratt played the wind, had a top spin, and the wind brought it in just a couple of inches inside the baseline for a clear winner. And what that does is that'll cause Doohan not to be as aggressive at the net, not to come up, but maybe stay a step back so he can get that overhead. So he won't be as aggressive at the net, and that'll then open up some passing shots.
Love 15.
Again, service return with power, no chip as he was doing at the beginning, but hitting out that service return and being effective with it.
15-30 now. So we noticed Peter Doohan still hugging that line on that serve.
Yeah. Well, he better with the way that Surratt is hitting those returns now. Again, Surratt just hit a good hard return. Let's look at this. I don't know if we have the angle there, but there we go. Yeah. You see he is touching the line, and as his racket, that is not a foot fault. Because when his racket came into contact with the ball, he was in the air, and that is a great serve because he is moving forward. But that was a big point. Surratt just beat Doohan, just broke him.
Whether foot fault or not, Pat Surratt has taken this third game. He now leads 2-1 in the third set. Pat Surratt up 2-1 in the third set. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
It's happening Monday and Tuesday in Lafayette. New Iberia, Lake Charles. This home furniture continues the most amazing sale in their history. Buy it now, and with your good credit, take 3 years to pay without 1 penny in interest. For example, buy these $1,000 Sherry Better groups for only $15 a month for 36 months. Name brand queen size mattress sets only $4 a month for 36 months. Pay no interest. Buy $300 or $30,000 worth and still pay no interest. You pay only the sale price of the furniture. 10,000 pieces of furniture bedding on sale. All locations open till 8 p.m. Home furniture, 3 years, no interest.
Their tricks of the trade are a skimpy swimsuit, suntan oil, and a knockout body.
You have to work out for at least an hour and a half every day.
They're professional bikini contestants, and Entertainment Tonight will show why they go from city to city to show off those hard bodies.
You can make between $4,000 to $6,000 a month doing a contest.
How do you stuff a wild bikini? Believe it or not, it's serious business. You'll get the inside story from the pros, only on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Monday at 6:30 on 7 at your service, KPLC.
And here we are back at the men's finals. Contraband Days tennis tournament. Pat Surratt serving with a 2-1 lead. Tried the cross court, but a little deep for that one. Hitting the net.
It was that topspin that brought it down into the net, but he's hit that a couple of times before. He's also hitting with the wind, so that's going to add a little bit to his serve. That's great touch tennis. It just shows you how athletic those people are to be able to stretch like that and to hit the ball at those angles. That's the first time, though, that Doohan has been able to do that. There we can see he goes over.
He misses it the first time, yeah, and tries to come around, but
that's correct.
Not enough.
Now, that's the first time Doohan has come up on the serve, though, and won it. You recall the last 4 times he tried that, he lost, so he was successful that time, but he had to hit 2 great shots to do it.
A little frustration is starting to come out of the top seed, Peter Doohan, in the far court. You might have heard him.
He tried it again, tried to come up on the serve. He's now 1 for 5.
Not a good average in any sport when you're 1 for 5.
But when you're successful in doing it, you put so much pressure on that server. He knows he has to hit the ball a little bit deeper. He might get a double fault out of it. And this service game, Pat hadn't been doing a good job of getting his first serve in. Let's see if he comes up on that second serve. Here he comes. Wide. 1 for 7?
Yep. 30 all now. Doohan was up 30 love, and then he charged the net twice. You can see the disgust. In his semifinal match is about at this point where he started to get frustrated. He started banging the racket against the side of the fence, started hitting himself, throwing the towel. At one point, he threw off his cap and almost knocked it over the fence. He was so frustrated, but he came back and won. So maybe that helps him a little bit.
Well, a lot of players can do it. They can shake it off. Or other people, once they get mad, they're not able to do it, and it hurts their game.
Speaking of games, Pat Surratt is on right now. He's up 2-1 in the 3rd set, and he's leading this game 40-30. Excuse me, 3-1. That's the game right there. Okay, Pat Surratt is up now. 3 games to 1. Pat Surratt in control right there.
If I were Peter Doohan, I don't think I would come up on that serve. He's 1 for 8 now.
That is definitely hurting him, and he needs to change his game. He's down 3-1.
Good first serve.
down by 2 games, it seems as Tennessee would be to sit back.
Well, actually, it's not that bad, Tom, because he's now up 30-love on a serve. Although he's down by 2 games, it's only 1 service game. And that's what you go by in these matches. You should hold your serve. And the secret is to break the other person's serve on a surface like this, on a slow court like clay or something. You have a lot of service breaks. But usually a match like this, 1 service break is all it takes to win, although the first 2 sets there were 2 service breaks in both. So if you're 1 service break down, all he needs to do is just break Surratt 1 time, and you're on line again, you're on serve, and you're even.
Doing serving for this game, he's up 40-love. Pat Surratt tried to unload on that one, a little wide.
I don't think I could hit a ball that hard.
Okay, we're at 3-2 now. Pat Surratt, the number 2 seed, is your leader. Don't go anywhere. We have a good one.
There are many powerful families in Louisiana, yet there's one few people even know exists. Its influence extends from boardrooms in big cities to small-town general stores. From shrimp boats on the Gulf through the heart of the bayou to the oil fields of the West. Generations have turned to members of this family for a helping hand. Through good times and bad, we're First National Bank, and we're part of that family. The strongest family of banks in Louisiana.
More than 800 area children have found shelter at Harbor House since the doors opened 4.5 years ago. It's just one of ETC's many services made possible by the support of area businesses.
Mr. Gaddes and 7 at your service KPLC both believe in giving something back to the community.
That's why we're teaming up to donate 25 cents to ETC for every pizza sold during Contraband Days. So visit our newly remodeled Lake Charles store or our Sulphur location and help us help them.
Here we are, 3rd set of the men's finals. Pat Surratt serving with a 3-2 lead.
Little wide, missed it by about 2 inches. Tried to do a little too much with it. You know, Tom, in looking back at the scores, Surratt was very close to being 2 sets up. If you recall the first service game this set of doing, Surratt had him out, but Doohan ended up coming back. And that's a great shot by Doohan. Passing shot down the line, top spin. And all Surratt could do was watch.
As we said, 3-2 is not bad.
Not bad. That's just a service break.
He needs to break. He needs to break here. Doohan needs to break here.
They're 1-all. What a shot.
Excellent shot.
Right down the line. And all he needs is 2 more points. He wins these 2 points, and it's an even match.
Looking at Peter Doohan right there. And Pat Surratt serving. Close one that time. Second serve. I think Pat Surratt wanted to do a little bit more on that top spin.
That's right. Well, that's the time we said, you know, we didn't know the wisdom of it, but it worked that time. He came up on that second serve and approached, came to the net, and Surratt tried to pass him, and he blocked it for a winning point, cross court.
30-all now.
Come on! 1 point away from a break.
Peter Doohan, that's about the closest you can get going over a net. I mean, it just skimmed over. I thought it was in the net for sure from my angle up above.
But that's that little dink shot, the little chop we talked about. You know, how you just dink it over, and what that does, it gets you another point. Gives you another chance to hit the ball. And you can hear Doohan talking to himself right now. He's really trying to psych himself up now to take this service game. He's been in trouble the last 2.
Now we're all even, 3-3. I think, ladies and gentlemen, the tennis has just moved up a notch.
That's incredible court coverage. You'll see how much court these players covered. You see him go down the line. Now look where Surratt is. And he gets the ball, but brings it a little wide. We're seeing some great tennis now.
Peter Doohan is pumped.
That was just quickness on Surratt's part.
We're at 15 all now. We're all even here in the third set. 3-3, 15-15.
Tom, I noticed something. It may be nothing, but when Surratt went over to the fence after hitting that point, I saw him stoop down, like he was trying to loosen up it looked like his left leg. He may be getting a little tight in that leg, maybe cramps or something. And I don't see him limping or anything.
Now we have a questionable call. Pat Surratt called it out. Peter Doohan going to the bench, going to the chair rather, and talk to Chip Musso.
Now you see him stretching. Look at Surratt. He's over by the baseline. He's stretching, and there may be something there.
Take a look. We have a slow motion replay. Watch where the ball goes. Once again, Pat Surratt called it out. It looks like that is going to stand.
And the official, Chip Musso, concurred. So it's going to go down as an out shot, despite what Pete doing things.
$15-30 now.
Great shot. I've been saying it before, Tom, but it's true. Surratt has completely abandoned the little dink returns or chop returns, and it's just hitting out, and it's really made a difference.
Nothing but power tennis, it looks right now. The dinks are gone. 15-40. Big serve right here for Peter Doohan.
He'd sure dig a hole if he loses this service, but he's been in trouble in every one of his services this set. Oh, look closely at Surratt's left leg now. You see how he's bouncing around? I think that he may be tightening up in that leg. Shades of last year.
Had cramps last year. Ooh, nice service right on the line. 30-40 now. Take a look at Pat Surratt.
Actually, it's his right leg. He's stretching his right leg. Big serve. Come on! Big serve. That makes it deuce, and Surratt had his chance. That's twice now he's had an ad out on the serve, and converted one, didn't convert the other.
Take a look at Pat Surratt. He's not stretching or favoring that leg right now, but he's been stretching it periodically during this third set. That first service was long.
For all the marbles on that one, Tom. He's hit it before and tried to do it again, and it wasn't even close. It's a timing shot, especially with all the top spin, the angle of the racket when it hits the ball, but he went for it again and went wide. Big service right here.
Peter Doohan has the advantage.
He needs to win this point to hold serve.
And he does. Peter Doohan is now up 4-3. We're on service here in the third set. We'll be back in a minute.
When you think of Whirlpool appliances, think Chick LeBlanc appliances. Chick LeBlanc's has the largest built-in appliance selection in Lake Charles, with all these models and more to choose from. We'd be happy to work with you or your contractor on new and remodeling projects. Come into Chick LeBlanc's and see all the new white-on-white designer models of Whirlpools now on display. Of course, Chick LeBlanc always has 2 Whirlpool washers and dryers specially priced. 2 of the best Chick LeBlanc appliances in Whirlpool, where we have easy credit terms available, and we would appreciate your business.
How can you help the environment, learn about new cultures, and save money, and get healthy? By drinking your milk, of course. During May, the dairy farmers of Louisiana are making it possible for you to get 50% off the regular price of admission to the Children's Museum of Lake Charles when you bring an empty plastic milk container to be recycled. So drink your milk, save the plastic container, and help the environment. And come have some fun in May for half price at the Children's Museum.
And the beautiful Bayou shot from the Lake Charles Racquet Club, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Thanks for joining us today for the men's final of the Contraband Days tennis tournament. Pat Surratt and Peter Doohan, the number 1 and number 2 seeds, battling here in the third and deciding set. Pat Surratt is serving, hoping to get back in this third set. He is down 4-3.
Now, Pete Doohan may have played an out ball there. It looked a little long. He was coming in on that second serve, and he was so intent on watching the ball and hitting the return that he didn't see where it hit, and it might have been a little bit long. But again, he was coming up on that second serve, had a little more success with it lately, but still, he's below the odds.
15 all.
There he comes up again. And the odds have gone down again. I hope he's not a gambler.
Boy. 30-15 now for Pat Surratt. Pat Surratt not in pain, doesn't seem to be struggling.
Doing fine. Pat really hasn't been in much trouble the second or the third set with his serve. He's won them pretty handily.
Oh. A gift.
Living right. Living right. It's always good to be lucky too, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Some people say it's better to be lucky than good. I'm neither, so. Pat Surratt up 40-15.
Now Pete Doohan was talking to the umpire, Chip Musa. I don't know what that was about, but you see something's bothering him. I don't know what it is. But these are the important points right now. Every point is important, and little things bother you. Watch him come up. Great point. But look at him limp, Tom. See him coming back. He has a little limp. He had to stretch, and he's beginning to feel there's something there. Now, whether it's affecting him, it didn't appear to on that point.
Well, watch him cover this court.
And then when he comes back on the screen, watch him when he, okay. Well, he limped when he came back on the screen.
He's got a little bit of a limp. We're not exactly sure the reason why. We're guessing, trying to say that it might be cramps. But right now, we are on serve 4-4 in the third set. This is tennis the way it ought to be.
Well, we were saying before the match, Tom, how they've played so closely the last few times they've played, and it's happening again.
wide, 15, love. Once again, a fine tournament put on by the Lake Charles Racquet Club. Nice crowds, nice competition all the way around. Another fine tournament, another successful year.
Great shot. Tom, as far as the caliber of player in the open division where the prize money is, and earlier you gave the figures, this is probably the best draw we've had. That Pat Surratt right now is rated the #1 tennis teaching pro in America. That would be all the pros at the different clubs throughout the country. That's a pretty good fact to put on your resume.
Real good on.
And we've talked about Pete Dewin already with wins over Becker. He plays all the major tournaments, the French, Wimbledon. So we're watching some caliber tennis.
Pat Surratt teaching up in Alexandria at the Courtyard Club.
These two players were the NCAA doubles champions for 2 consecutive years. And they're in the finals of the tournament after this match. You wonder why?
Watching these two guys play, you know, you watch them play on opposite ends of the court, and just imagine them playing on the same side.
I wouldn't want to do it.
No.
I wouldn't want to play against them.
Get him that foot!
Pat Surratt a little upset with himself.
Well, Pat thought that point was out, and he played it anyway, and hit a high topspin to Pete Dewin's forehand. They put it away. There you go.
Watch it. Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there on the. Look. Ooh, that's a close call.
I think it might have been right on the line.
I think he made the right choice because it was on the line.
Yeah.
I think that was the right choice. He just didn't hit it. He might have hesitated.
That's
took
right.
a little bit off.
That's right. Should I play it? Should I not play it? And as a result, hit that type of shot.
Exactly.
The other thing was that point before on the service return. That's one of the few times recently that I've seen Surratt chop the ball on a return. You notice he didn't hit out on that one, but chopped it. He did hit out on that one, but he hit it out.
Give him points. Give it to him.
30 all now.
Those were 2 big points. You heard Pat Surratt talking to himself, just give it to him. These are the crucial points now. Every point is going to determine the outcome of this match with an ace.
And Peter Dewin takes that game. We're still on serve. 5-4 now. Peter Dewin is leading. Boy, you don't even want to lead, but we have to. Let's do a little business, but don't go anywhere.
KPLC TV7 is at your service with this month's Crime Stoppers Fugitive Roundup.
George Freeman is a 39-year-old black male, 6 feet, 167 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, wanted in Beauregard Parish for distribution of marijuana. Terry Silas is a 29-year-old black male, 5'3", 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, wanted in Beauregard Parish for distribution of marijuana. Edward Earl Blake is a 32-year-old man, 5'9", 210 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, wanted in Beauregard Parish for distribution of marijuana and cocaine. Jerry Raymond Logue is a 42-year-old white male, 5'8", 240 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes, wanted for distribution of controlled dangerous substances. Crystal Fontenot is a 35-year-old black male, 6'1", 160 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, wanted on 49 counts of worthless checks.
Crime Stoppers will pay $200 for each fugitive apprehended.
And welcome back. A tight match here in the men's finals. Contraband Days tennis tournament. Serving is Pat Surratt, down 4-5 here in the third and deciding set. A little overcast, not real hot, not real humid. I know the players like it. I appreciate it.
Tom, I think that Pete Doohan's going to dream about that service return tonight. He came up on the second serve again and hit it long and wide.
He's not doing too well when he charges.
Yep. Great shot. It seemed like Pete Doohan was a little tentative. He couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to come up or whether he wanted to stay back.
No man's land.
No man's land. Ended up in no man's land right in the middle. And when Surratt hit the ball, he hit it down the line for a passing shot.
Pat Surratt needs this.
Oh, he has a hole. That's right. Comes up.
He's doing it again. Yeah, but if you and I go down there and say, hey, Peter, don't do it.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, I'd like to be able to hit it in the net like him. I'd be satisfied with that.
Well, that's a quick game, love game for Pat Surratt.
Made it easy, made it easy.
And we're at 5-all now. I want to thank the crew that's on hand bringing this to you. Troy, Mike, Elaine, Diane, Steve, Norman, and the rest of the guys and gals at KPLC doing a great job out here, getting us some great shots. I'm waiting for our 2 camera guys on the ground to get hit with a ball, though. Once again, third set. We're all even at 5. The number 1 seed, Peter Doohan serving.
Important serve here, Tom. We'll see what Peter Doohan's going to do. Went for the ace, wide, missed it by about a net. So we have a second serve now. And we'll see if Pat Surratt hits out on this return. Because we know Doohan's going to come to the net. And he doesn't. A double fault.
And you might have heard it hit the fence that time.
That's a crucial shot. And I think really that's more nerves. At this level, you still have nerves. And he knows how important this serve is. And just hit it a little long. Tried to do a little too much with it. The fact that Surratt had been pounding those second serves back, he just wanted to put a little more on it. Second serve again. Let's see what he does.
3 straight faults. He might be a little tentative, maybe, trying to get this one in because he needs it.
We'll see if Surratt goes for all the marbles. He sure does.
He just throws it right back at Peter Doohan and say, hey, I'm going to pound you, hit him back if you can.
Doohan was just like a backboard. Everything came back.
15-all now. First prize of $1,700 going to the winner. Second place, $900.
You don't think these players are thinking about that, do you, Tom?
Oh, I think so. Be worth the time and the sweat.
Pay for the gas back to Arkansas.
You got it. $30-15 now.
And Pat Surratt was not happy with that shot. He didn't come over it. He just kind of dinked it back up high. Easy put away by Pete Doohan.
Idiot!
He said it, I didn't.
That brings us to a deuce game, and these 2 points are going to be critical.
Peter Doohan not happy with himself, calling himself names. That's just one bad shot. But they're all crucial when you get to this point.
Well, to get to this point, you have to realize that Pete Doohan had a double fault. He made it easy for Surratt to get to this point. So now they're even, 2-all. And this is an important point.
deuce.
Great first serve. Went wide again. This time, instead of missing it by a couple of inches, it was in by a few inches.
Notice Pat Surratt, his walk, seems pretty stable.
Pretty good, pretty good. I don't think he's worrying about his foot right now. If he is, the points are so important that he's able to overlook it.
That's a little deep.
Second serve. Let's see if he hits out on this one. And don't think that Pete Dewin isn't thinking about that double fault earlier.
Oh, yeah. Looms big. Oh. That was close, and we're still on serve. Peter Dewin wins that one. The top seed is now up 6-5 in the third and deciding set. Men's finals, Contraband Days Tennis Tournament. We'll be back in a few minutes.
I'm bored. There's nothing to do. There's never anything to do.
Guys, there's always something to do. It's time to get on the team for self-esteem.
Lake Charles Memorial Hospital's Recovery Center, McNeese State University, and KPLC have teamed up for a day-long seminar for teens. Self-esteem, coping, appropriate communication are all part of the day. Call the Memorial Recovery Center, the MSU Athletic Department, or KPLC TV for details.
So come with us.
Taking pride in Louisiana's what we do.
These Maplewood teachers are among nearly 5,000 area educators who have received corsages and buttonnieres from Bill Navarre Chevrolet and KPLC TV7 as part of Teacher Appreciation Week. Look for your favorite teacher wearing a corsage and take a moment to join Bill Navarre in saying thank you for a job well done. That's good news for Southwest Louisiana, the kind of news 7 at your service likes best.
You're watching the men's finals of the Contraband Days Tennis Tournament. Pat Surratt is serving to tie this match up here in the third set. He is behind right now, 5-6. But serving to tie things up, hoping to stay on serve, maybe get this thing into a tiebreaker. He is leading 15. Love.
One is first serve. He really hasn't had trouble with his serve this set.
And this is not the time to have trouble. He is now up 30 love.
And on that case, Tom, Pete Dewin came up on the second serve again and lost it again. Surratt might want to serve a second serve more often. You know, miss his first one on purpose. The way he's been doing that.
Dewin keeps coming up.
And an ace.
Excellent. Now, as we take a look at Pat Surratt, a slight limp.
That's right, Tom.
He's up 40 love now. So you might want to relax a little bit.
He'll go for a big serve here. He wants to get it over with. Wide, strong serve.
And that was it. Another love service game for Pat Surratt, and we're all even at 6. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a tiebreaker now.
Tom, for the listeners, a tiebreaker is a 12-point tiebreaker, and what happens is the first player to win 7 points will win the tiebreaker. However, you have to win by 2 points. So you could go 6-6, 7-7, 8-7, 9-7. At 9-7, you have a winner.
And Peter Dewin, the #1 seed, gets the first point of this tiebreaker. If you're just joining us, folks, this is the time to join us. We're in the tiebreaker, the third and deciding set. Pat Surratt and Peter Dewin split the first 2 sets by identical 6-1 scores. Right now, Pat Surratt is serving to tie this tiebreaker up.
great point. There's a lot of strategy in that point, Tom, and they hit from the baseline, and unlike the previous points where Dewan came up, on this case, Surratt came up and took the net. Hit some, we're seeing it now, some incredible angle volleys.
Excellent
down
coverage
the
of the
line,
court.
and you see him just cut it right back there. Beautiful touch. And that puts us at 1-1.
1-1. Pat Surratt serving. Not real happy with that shot.
He had a second serve, which he could do something with, and he hit it straight down the middle, right into the net. Had an opportunity, didn't take advantage of it, and we'll see if it cost him later on.
Pat Surratt starting to stretch now. Tightening in his legs. Peter Dewan has some experience in tiebreakers. He won his semifinal match over Pontus Leifog in a tiebreaker. So he knows what it's like. But he's down 2-1 right now.
What a shot.
From my vantage point up here, it looked like the serve was out. But Pat Surratt went ahead and played the point, won the point, and he's up 3-1.
You have to play the point. Even though the server may believe that the service is long, if the returner hits the ball back, it's in play, and it counts. So if he just pulls up and doesn't play it, and the returner hits it in, that's a returner's point.
Dewan down 3-1. He needs these service points.
Especially in a tiebreaker.
Oh, yeah. Do or die time. Dewan taking a little extra time.
Let. Second serve.
Pat Surratt taking long walks. Long walks around. Trying to keep that leg loose.
It's more noticeable than it has been before. He stretched as he switched sides for the tiebreaker.
Pat Surratt having no trouble with our camera guy.
But Tom, in a tiebreaker like this, as we said earlier, little things bother you. Easy point.
3-2 now. As you say, yeah, the little things bother you.
If you recall at the U.S. Open this past year, McEnroe stopped a match because the click from the shutter of the cameras was bothering him. Just a little noise from the cameras. And they had to move all the cameramen back so that he wouldn't hear the little click from the shutters.
3-2 now. Pat Surratt serving.
Good point.
4-2, Pat Surratt. A noticeable limp now.
Well, Tom, I don't know if anyone would have believed that when it was 6-1 first set, that Surratt would be back playing in a tiebreaker and up 4-2.
Right now, Pat Surratt is leading 4-2 in this tiebreaker.
And he's over in the corner stretching, so obviously he's having some difficulty.
As you remember last year, he developed cramps and struggled and lost in the finals. Now he's trying to beat the cramps. He's up 4-2 and serving in this tiebreaker.
Great serve.
5-2.
It appears that he saved a little on his serve because he was, the last few service games that he's had, he's really hit the ball much harder than he did previously during the set. or during the match.
Peter Doohan is walking around the court, surveying the situation. He's down 5-2.
Well, there's no tomorrow right now, Tom. Incredible shot. And a long service. Just what we talked about earlier. He stopped just a little bit. I don't think he could have gotten the ball anyway. And you see him talking to the umpire right now. But it was a long service.
It was a long service. Pat Surratt went ahead and played it.
Okay.
Doohan stopped.
And now he's going to call for... Let's see what happens
Chip
here.
Muso's.
See, now he's going to call for the official. Okay. He asked for official ruling, and the official called it long.
Which it was.
Which it was. So now they're going to replay it.
Probably he called for that ruling because Doohan stopped.
Yeah.
He knew it was on. He stopped. Pat kept playing, hit a winner, and that made Doohan upset.
That's correct. That's correct. And that was an excellent call by Chip Musso.
Oh, excellent call. Way to step in there and take control, Chip.
That is. It's going to be difficult for
6-3 now.
But Doohan to come back. All Surratt needs to do now is win a point.
(6-3) now. Pat Surratt serving for the match. Tiebreaker, third set. Pat Surratt serving. He wins this point, the match is over.
That was his hardest serve today.
Second serve. That's it. Here's the match point once again.
Tom, Doohan may have hit a long ball. It may have gone long, but he whipped that forehand, and then Surratt put it away. But it was an excellent match. We ended up with a tiebreaker. Everybody said before the match was going to be close.
We take a look now at Peter Doohan. It doesn't look like he's going to hang around for the award ceremony. I don't think he is very pleased at this point.
You can see the tournament director waiting on him, wants to hand out the plaque. He may have a plaque in an extra plaque in his room.
Yeah, I guess since Pat and Peter are roommates, I guess Pat will just take it to him. We will be back with the handing out of the plaques, the awards ceremony, when we come back.
Be brought out into the open because it's really painful.
Next Donahue, a child's heartbreak when families are torn apart by adultery.
When you fool around, you really hurt the children.
He'd fight a lot with my mother. I was the one who caught him. You have to learn to cope with the situation.
Children and their adulterous parents. Can you heal the hurt?
This can ruin kids.
Next Donahue.
Donahue, Monday at 9 a.m. on 7 at your service, KPLC.
It was 9 days that will haunt her for the rest of her life. On the next hard copy, Odyssey with a serial killer. Tina Rosico tells her story for the first time. For 2 weeks, she was forced to accompany him on his serial killing spree of beautiful young women, even forced to lure one of his victims. Now, the story, her 10-day journey, and his cross-country hunt. The captures, the torment. She lived through it all, and now you will too. On hard copy.
Monday at 4:30 on 7 at your service, KPLC.
To the Lake Charles Racquet Club. With me is the club pro, Alfredo True Yankee, and the winner of the men's finals of the Contraband Days tennis tournament, Pat Surratt. Alfredo?
I would like to thank everybody for coming over here and supporting the club and the players. And hopefully next year we got maybe more people coming on and more players. I think the club is getting bigger and bigger every day, and the tournament definitely is getting bigger. And I would like to thank the main sponsor, First National Bank, and all the sponsors we have this year. And we'd like to present the first place to Pat Surratt. He did a great job. He got cramps. That's what happened last year, but this year he pulled it through and he come out in a big win at 7-6 in the third. And big hand for this guy. He really worked hard for it. He deserved it.
Thank you, Alfredo. Let's get a couple words with Pat Surratt, the winner. 1-6, 6-1, 7-6 in a tiebreaker. The cramps bothered you last year, but it seems you sucked it up and played well, even in the last set with them.
Yeah, well, it didn't get as bad as last year. Just a little bit of my hamstrings and muscle on top of my knee, but, you know, I slowed it down. I got lucky because I got some big first serves in. If I would have missed a lot of first serves, then I would have been in trouble.
Where do you think that the turning point in the match was?
I think turning point halfway after the second set, because we know each other's game so well, and I know people's going to start coming out serve volley and trying to rush me. So, and that's basically what happened. I tried to finish the point off early also, but then I slowed it down, stayed back a few times, and got back into the match. And then I got up a break in the third, and he came back with a good game, and you know, and then it was touch and go from then on.
Peter tried to charge the net a lot of times, and he wasn't too successful with a lot of them.
Well, from your end he wasn't, but from my end it puts a lot of pressure on me to come out. I got a couple of good second serve deep there when he tried to come in. I knew he was going to try and do it. So, you know, I went for a chance and went for a deep second serve, and he, you know, it was tough on him. But if it would have been short, would have been pretty much his point.
Peter wasn't real pleased losing to you, even though you're good friends.
Well, we don't like losing each other. You know, last year we played in the finals of 2 pro tournaments, and he won one on clay, 7-5 in the third, and then I won 1-6-1 the third on grass. So we have a lot of good matches, you know, but we're real competitive. That's the name of the game. You know, sport, it'll be over. I mean, you know.
You gonna take his plaque to him?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, Pat Surratt, congratulations. Thanks a bunch. Pat Surratt, once again, the winner of the men's finals of the Contraband Days tennis tournament, 1-6, 6-1, 7-6 in a tiebreaker. A great match for both these gentlemen. It's the way they drew it up. The top seed, number 1, taking on the number 2 seed, but this time it was the number 2 man taking the win, Pat Surratt. Now I want to thank my color commentator, Mike McNulty, and all the crew. They did a great job. For now, that'll do it. We'll see you down the road.
The 1991 Contraband Days Tennis Tournament has been brought to you by First National Bank of Lake Charles.
Surratt is currently the top-rated teaching pro in the country. He's won 5 of the 7 tournaments he's entered, including the last 3 in a row, proving that he practices what he preaches. See, Surratt, when he's not playing, spends his time on the clay courts at the courtyard teaching his craft.
Teaching's not for everyone. You know, some of the pros out there don't like teaching. You know, you got to be very personable. You got to learn to communicate with people, and you got to enjoy teaching. You know, not everyone can be a good teacher.
Surratt has proven in '92 that he's good at both teaching and playing. 2 of his pupils, Spencer Marks and Kathy Burkhalter, have been successful, winning the Pell State Juniors and clay court respectively. But Surratt still needs to play.
I'm playing so well right now, and I'm in good conditioning. So it's yeah, I don't really want to just teach the whole time. I want to be able to play still, you know. There's still that desire to play. So.
I'm Bart Jones, and on behalf of Cinema Physical Therapy, I'd like to present this award to Pat Surratt for Athlete of the Week. Congratulations, Pat.
Thanks, Bart.
Tom Boucher, News Central 5 Sports.
Surratt will get his fill of playing time over the next couple of months. He's entered in 8 more tournaments.